Hello and welcome back to All the Gear, Some Idea. So today we're going to be working on the Triumph. Now hopefully you've seen the previous video where I spoke about the Yamaha R1 and the Triumph, about how we managed to get two 1000cc bikes that don't run and have both been left neglected for quite a few years. So this bike, supposedly a year ago, they tried to start it and couldn't get it going. It did start, however, 4 years ago, and it was still left after that. So aim of the game today is to at least get the ignition on and see if it turns over. So let's get to the battery, have a look at the battery, see if we can charge it, and see what voltage it's got. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to put the key in and nothing comes up. Nothing on the starter. I know you'll put the clutch in as well, but there is literally nothing that happens. Not even the horn works. So let's have a little look at this battery. Okay, so we have the multimeter and we have a positive and a negative. Half a volt. Lovely. Well, that'll explain why we get no ignition. So let me go into my layer and grab a new battery for the bike, and hopefully we'll have something after that. Let's get this one out. So something like Blue Peter. Here's one I prepared earlier. Put that in there. Whoa! Jeez, that's loud. Okay. That's really loud. Right, let me grab these key fobs. So we've got a genuine Triumph key fob here, so hopefully protect my ears. Nothing. I'm going to take this apart, check the battery. So what I have found, we'll try and change the battery on one of the fobs. You can see on the camera, down this side here, the track's all burnt, which to me is an indication that this fob isn't going to work. This one does seem to light up, however, it's a bit temperamental, so we're going to try it again. That's a no. Okay, I think I might have something that was given to me by the previous owner to fix this. So this was in the book pack. Shorting plug if alarm is removed. Now I know that the plug is down in the bike somewhere. So I'm going to unplug it now and see if we can get it where the alarm doesn't go off. Okay, that is the shorting plug fitted, and hopefully now, there we go. Just what we wanted. So let's get the terminals tightened. God, that alarm is so loud. Oh, Jesus. Perfect. Now, hopefully, with this battery, we should have something on it. Look at that. Perfect. Hopefully we get an ignition now. Right then. Oh, that was good. So we are at 28,294. I can't remember what the MOT said, but it ain't far from that. Right, first things first. Let's try. Okay. But I can't hear the fuel pump prime. There also says there's no fuel in it. But the fuel pump's not priming. We ain't going to get fuel. So I think we should take the tank off. At least let's take this off and have a goosey gander, I do know it's got an OBD plug. So what I'm going to do actually is grab my OBD scanner first and see what faults we have, if it will read it. Okay, so the OBD plug is here. That's an OBD2 plug, and I'm hoping by using my OBD tool, it's lit up. That's a good sign. Because some bikes don't give it a live and you've got to give it a separate live, and I have not got the tool for that. So if we go EOBD, we have a voltage system low, obviously. A fuel level sensor A circuit high, so that means that the fuel gauge might not work. It might be due to it being really low. And we've also got a manifold absolute pressure barometric pressure sensor fault. Let's get the tank off. Let's have a little look. So it's got some release clips for the hoses, which is actually quite nice. So to confirm what I said, what we're going to do is on no fuel. Good, I think. Interesting, the pressure regulator isn't even attached. So this is inside the side panel. You've got a clip that you push down there, and also a clip that you push in on that one. And then you just plug down where I need to get to. But the vacuum hose there isn't attached to the fuel pressure regulating valve. Now, one thing I'm a little bit concerned about at this very present time is when it's turning over, it almost sounds like it's too easy for two cylinders but not for one. That might just be how they sound, I'm not sure. I just know I don't really particularly like that sound. So let's lift this up, unplug that plug. Hopefully it's everything, which it is. Wait, what wasn't plugged in? Is that the fuel pump not plugged in? What? What? What's that for? What? Nah, no way. Impossible. I'm going to just Google what the plug should look like. Damn it, it is not the fuel pump that is unplugged, it is the level sensor that is unplugged. That is well annoying. That could have been the easiest fix apart from the K100 fuse. But saying that, I haven't checked any fuses because I don't actually know where they are right now. So what I'm going to do is, this is the plug for the fuel pump. So we need to see if we've got voltage there while turning it over. We need to have a little scout around as well, just any other things, like where's the vacuum hose for the regulator, unless what they've done is they've teed it into this, which I don't think they would have done, surely. But it will need the vacuum line for the pressure regulator back on there. So I may have to look at some exploded diagrams. But we're in a good position. We need to find the fuses, which I've just found. Fuel pump and ECU. 815A. 8. Not blown. Okay, that's a good sign. Got ignition control 10 amp. Okay, so no fuses are blown. Good. I need to see if we have 12 volts at the fuel pump plug to know if we're in the right direction here. Let me jimmy something up for this to be plugged into that. Okay, so let's grab this. I've managed to get one in there. I was just hold the other one, and I've cable tied the clutch lever. So if we now hold this down, roughly 10 volts, but what have we got on the battery while it's cranking? Roughly the same. So what were we there on the battery cranking? We're at 12.2 because obviously it's not running. Between 10.8 and 11. Back onto this one. So it's roughly the same, but obviously as it's upping and downing with the voltage, that's what's making it jump around. Hopefully that's the reason why it's only at 10.8. That's good. So now I need to take out the fuel pump and test the fuel pump. But before I do that, I want to see if it actually fires up. I want to see if it goes boom and barks some life. So I'm going to give it some devil's breath down these intakes, which I've just pulled up, so they're now facing upwards rather than downwards. We're going to spray a bit in there, and hopefully we're going to have it roar up into life. Wow. Okay, she roared. Okay. Good sign. She is starting. So we now need to take apart that fuel pump and see if the fuel pump is completely knackered, whether I can sort of give it a few taps to get it to burst into some sort of life. So let's do that now. Right then, let's get this cover off, which hides the fuel pump. I'm hoping the seal's going to be alright. There we have it. Okay, so it's not got the original fuel filter in there, which is good. It's got an aftermarket Mealy one in there, which is a good sign. So we've also got 2 wires there. The only problem I might have is the fuel hose is very similar to what the... Oh, there we go. It's a bag filter there as well. The K100 fuel hose inside was a bit naffed, so I have to order some more of that fuel hose. Now, what we can do, this is a good thing, is I can air it off, and then I can, because there's a plug here on the fuel pump, there's also a plug here on the fuel pump. So we can actually use this wiring to our advantage to give it 12 volts to see if this works. Looking at this, I'm not sure. It probably is original or even an aftermarket one. But just inside the tank, what is that? What is that? That's disgusting. Let me find something to put it in, hang on. It's like, oh, what is that? Is that congealed petrol? That's mad. Is that, that's crazy. I've never seen that in my life. I believe that is congealed petrol sat at the bottom of the tank. It's gone to like jelly. Oh, fuck, Jesus. Just stop swearing, really. Let me get the rest of it out. That is incredible. So okay, so it might be that the fuel pump's actually just blocked. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I have no idea what this stuff is in the tank. I thought it might be like congealed fuel, but I googled it and apparently it doesn't look like that. So, onwards, let's remove this fuel pump from the assembly. So that's the fuel pump off. Let's see if we can rig it up to test it somehow. Right, what I've done is I managed to jimmy some wires into that to get it to kind of work. So we're going to put it on positive and negative. As you can see, it's not working. So I'm almost hoping it's where I've been mucking around with it, it's moved it all. So what I'm going to do right now is try and fit it back to the bike without the fuel tank connected and see if it pumps. So I'll give that a bash now. Okay, so that is now all back together. Obviously it worked on the 12 volt from the battery, so I'm hoping it's now going to do something when we turn it on. I'm assuming that hopefully by me knocking things around, I don't even know if you can hear that. I don't even know if you can hear that. Right. The fuel pump's working. The fuel pump is working. Right, the fuel pump works now. So let's get it back in that tank and give it a bash. So I won't show you me putting it back in the tank because it's self-explanatory. Put it back in. We just need to fix this regulator at the same time, hopefully, but we'll figure that out in a bit. And put this pipe back on. I'll do that now. Right, let's get this tank back in and hopefully something good's going to happen. Make sure there's not a leak. Put the wrong way around, you pillock. Right, take two. Let's plug in that level sensor. I haven't yet found the wire for the pipe, for the regulator, but I'm hoping it just returns. It shouldn't run at full capacity, I think. I'll just plug that in there. Then we will, that's the wrong way around again. Goes around there like that. You can't see it, I can. It's just putting it back the way it came out. That's in. Hose goes in there. Click, click. Click, click. Now, when we turn the ignition on. Oh, okay. Was I getting fuel all along then? Oh. I can feel it now. Right, let me do this. I did this earlier and it didn't work, so let's give it a go. Oh my god. Right. Hopefully that camera caught it. We have pressure in that hose. Decent. Let me get my gloves off. We didn't have pressure in there earlier when I went to release it. Right, let's close this up. Let me move you so you get a better view. I'm hoping. Right, so fingers crossed. We now have fuel. Pissing out of here when I pulled the pipe off, which means it's returning. Let's try it. Fuel pump comes on. Let's try it a few times. It didn't do that before. I'm sure it did that before. Let's just do one more time. Right, so that does say no codes present. So I managed to clear them using the Snap-on scanner. And now the engine light should go off, so 2 seconds. So it runs. I don't know how these bikes actually sound when they're running. I think I'm definitely going to order some spark plugs, oil filter, some oil, an air filter for the next video. Also, when we do the spark plugs, I'll do a compression test. I will make sure the battery is fully charged because I want to make sure it is all good, and I won't fit any of the bits until we'll do a compression test. There's oil in it. Obviously, it's really old oil. I just don't know how these actually sound and whether it sounds right. It takes a few seconds for it to actually start. Engine light is off, which is brilliant, but it did have a barometric fault in there, and we also know the vacuum hoses are missing to the regulator and also the spoiler. So that can make it sound a bit funny because it's basically got an air leak. So when you do need to find out where they go, fix that fuel pressure regulator because you have a fuel pressure fault too. Now, this stuff, I've got no idea what it actually is. I'm going to say it is congealed fuel, but it's hard to see on the light. But some of it you can almost see where it's been sat on top of that bag, the filter bag. So I'm wondering if it wasn't so much me taking the fuel pump out and actually moving it around that brought it back to life. I'm wondering if that slab of jelly was actually sat on top of that bag, which in turn would block it from any fuel. That, I think, is the most logical thing because it's a really quiet pump. You turn the bike on and you can just about hear it. And I don't remember hearing it before Prime, but I also wasn't expecting to find this in there. So, yeah, maybe it's a bit of a mixture of the both where that was covering it and it sort of blocked the fuel filter. I've definitely got pressure there now. I don't need to get my pressure gauge out and just test it. The faults have cleared. So, yeah, next video on this bike will be hopefully servicing it and getting it potentially ready for an MOT. Seems quite short, really, considering I've only had it a day. Need some indicators. I'll order them because the indicators do work, just they're hanging off. I could glue them, but we'll get some new ones. We'll pump the tyres up. I'll probably book it in for an MOT, but I will order the bits it needs for the service stuff for the next video. So join me on the Triumph next for a service, but hopefully the next video that you will see will be looking at the Yamaha R1 and hopefully finding out why it doesn't actually start. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.